2023 is here. So the question is, are you prepared marketing-wise? Are you focusing on the right things? Today, Tony and I will be discussing marketing trends for 2023, trends that you should definitely be aware of if you want to level up your online business strategy, or even if you're just getting started. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and let us know down in the comments if this is the kind of content you enjoy so that we know if we should do more. All right, let's dive in. All right, so today we are talking about growth marketing trends for 2023. Tony is here in the studio with me. Tony, would you like to kick things off?
So, how about we start with a list of trends that we feel like we're going to be seeing this year? I can start if you want. So, I think that this year we're still going to continue to see a growth in people having long-form conversations on YouTube, just podcasting platforms everywhere. I think they're a really great way of letting your audience receive a lot of value and a lot of information just from listening to a conversation. And I feel like we're going to continue to see a rise of people doing that. What about you? What's the trend that you think you're going to be seeing this year?
I think authenticity is going to be a big one. Just, low production value, because I think we've seen that high production value doesn't necessarily equal engagement. So just keeping things as low tech, just so that you can get your marketing started, that really seems to resonate with a lot of viewers.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that ties into another trend that I feel like we're going to be seeing this year, which is more micro influencer campaigns, meaning trying to reach out and partner up with influencers that aren't necessarily huge in terms of how many followers they have or what their vanity metrics look like, but instead trying to go after some of those influencers that are a little bit more authentic, that they may not have the best recording gear or anything like that, but they're still authentic in what they do. They're authentic in their messaging, and they're they can really resonate with their audience.
Absolutely. And I think we should clarify what we mean by a micro influencer. We think about 1,000 to up to 100,000 followers. And actually, I would even say even less than 1,000 followers, you're well on your way to becoming a micro influencer, even with 20 or 30 subscribers, because once your subscriber starts to take off, you can easily grow to 700 and then 800. It's kind of an exponential curve. So just because we say 1,000, it really kind of includes everyone below that, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I go even further by saying probably the amount of followers that you have is obviously going to kind of, give people an insight as to how much engagement you have. But it's not so much about the number of followers. It's probably how much engagement you're getting on your content, how well are people listening to whatever it is that you're trying to communicate.
Absolutely.
What's another trend on your list?
Well, live events, I think, are going to be a big trend. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the long form content that you were talking about for YouTube. But live events, kind of like how you and I are doing right now, where it's recorded live. It's not necessarily going to be like a webinar, like a live webinar, but just the fact that you and I are not on a script and we are doing this in real time for us, and it's very, very authentic.
Yep, 100%. I feel like, I don't know about you, but I feel like tell me if you've actually noticed this, where you see people calling their content a podcast, but what they're really doing is just a live show. This is something that actually pisses me off so much. And I don't know why, because it's not, I guess it's okay, but I feel like a podcast that's valuable is mainly a long form conversation where I'm actually getting value out of what I'm listening, from whatever it is that I'm listening to. Whereas I see a lot of people now calling their shows podcasts because the word podcast and the title I don't know if it drives more traffic or something, but what people are really doing it are just, a live show. Like if you're doing a live show that's fun, but isn't necessarily something that's providing people with value, is that a podcast or is that just another Tonight Show?
Oh, that's up for debate. I would say, I mean, if people want to call it a podcast, I think that's fine. I think part of the reason why podcasts are becoming big now is because YouTube has recognized podcasts as a specific type of content. They now have an entire podcast category, and that's relatively new, I believe. I think it's only been in the last quarter of 2022 that they did that. But I can see your point in that podcasts, it feels like they need to really be focused on providing value. But at the same time, like, I listen to the Office Ladies podcast, and how valuable is that? That's just like pure entertainment. So I don't know.
Right. So actually, you're perfectly making it super easy for me to lead into more and more trends. So you mentioned how YouTube is actually creating a specific category on its own for podcasts. And I feel like another thing that we're going to be seeing in 2023 is more and more short form content in video format. So more shorts, essentially. We've been creating shorts here at Thrive Themes. Everyone is creating shorts on TikTok. Everyone's creating shorts on Instagram. And I feel like we're only going to continue to see this grow even more in 2023. I don't know about you, but I have a love-hate relationship with shorts, mainly because I feel like shorts are more entertainment focused and not so much value focused. I mean, think about it. How hard is it to provide value in under a minute? It is difficult. I mean, it's not easy. I feel like we're going to continue to see this in 2023. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree that the shorts seem to be more entertainment based. It is difficult to make them, particularly for us, it's hard to make them both entertaining and educational because it's such a short amount of time and we have to like really show people how to use the Thrive products. But I think our shorts have been doing relatively well, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing okay. I guess it's just, I mean, some work better than others. It's, for us, it's very, very, very hard to actually get into shorts. And we've been doing shorts for like half a year now. But they take a lot of work. I mean, I'm the one that actually records them. And I can tell you firsthand that creating in under a minute something that's valuable in terms of, okay, how can I provide at least one web design tip in under a minute and make it fun and engaging at the same time? It is not easy. Plus, typically yes, a lot of people can just get creative and get on camera for a minute and make it fun and valuable and entertaining. For us, if we are doing web design content, doing so in under a minute not only requires me to get on camera, it probably also requires me to think about, okay, what I'm going to be putting on screen as I'm speaking to showcase whatever it is that I'm teaching, right? If I'm teaching you, here is how to design buttons in an effective and elegant way to make sure that people want to click on them, you actually not only need to be looking at my face, but you actually need to be seeing the button, right? I mean, it's not easy. So there's a lot of, yeah.
I'm just really curious. So for only 1 minute of content, about how long does that take you roughly to create?
So I don't know. I can probably spend like an hour and a half in the script or so, just writing whatever it is that I'm trying to say. They have to be scripted. At least for me, I can't do them without a script. They need to be 100% scripted because you can't go over a minute. If you go over a minute, either it's going to get chopped off on YouTube or it's going to get cut off on some other platforms. I mean, that's something else that really annoys me about short form video content. Each platform has its own rules about how long can these shorts be. So to be on the safe side, you want to keep them under a minute. And so the only way I can make sure I never go over a minute is to make sure I have a legitimate script and that I'm actually saying whatever it is that I memorized.
I see.
How long does it take me to record? I mean, recording the short in it of itself is kind of quick once you have the script. You get on camera and you gotta do a few takes because you're probably gonna stumble across your own words, and you want to make sure you do want to make it fun and exciting, and you want to be energetic because I mean, the attention span of people when they're watching reels or shorts is like super short, and so you want to make sure you try to capture their attention. And then it's a question of, going back to, hey, what's the short actually talking about? Do you need a screen overlay or something, a screencast to go on top of your voice or something to showcase whatever it is that you're trying to teach? That's something that is going to probably take you some time to.
So should we move on to the next item on our list?
So I feel like we're going to continue to see a big trend in email newsletters. This is something that look, email, it's been around for like 20 years now, and email newsletters are not a new thing, let's face it. Well, neither are podcast nor short form video content. We're trying to come up with trends that we feel like they're still going to be present in 2023. And I feel like email newsletters are going to be a huge one. I feel like they're going to continue to grow. I'm seeing more micro influencers coming up with their own email newsletters. Whereas I feel like 5 years ago, maybe you wouldn't expect necessarily like micro influencers with 2,000 followers to be trying to build up their own email lists, which is great, right? I mean, that means that entrepreneurs are learning about email marketing and the value behind doing email, which is absolutely stunning. And I feel like as companies like us start to produce more educational content and people start to learn more about marketing, it's only going to continue to grow and grow. And I feel like it's going to get stronger. And it is, I mean, email has one thing that is particularly interesting above everything else, because when I create a short, for example, and I put it up on YouTube, you know that I'm putting up that short not for you to watch it, but for 1,000 other people to watch it too. An email newsletter, yes, you can have that perspective as well that, hey, Tony is not just emailing me personally. He probably has an email list of 10,000 people and 10,000 other people are receiving that email newsletter as well. But there's something different about getting into people's inboxes. It feels like a whole lot more personal than just putting yourself out there on social media. And there is added value to that. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think having an email list and putting out regular newsletters, particularly whenever you publish a piece of content, maybe not necessarily a piece of short video on YouTube, because that might happen once or twice a day, but particularly your long content on YouTube, definitely email your list. And that's actually something that I've noticed that a lot of these micro influencers are not doing. And I think that's really hurting their growth, because I do feel like if you're trying to really establish a business and your main form of content is YouTube, what you should be doing is publishing your video on YouTube and then immediately sending out an email to all of your email subscribers and letting them know that, hey, there's a new video on YouTube. Because when you get that, when you get a certain number of people watching your video within the first 24 hours, then that boosts your video in the YouTube algorithm. And a lot of people aren't doing it. And another thing that I've seen just in the past couple of months is a lot of the YouTubers that I watch, for one reason or another, they will lose their channel. Like they'll get hacked, or because I watch a lot of handbag videos, some influencers, they'll mention the word fake. And so somehow, I guess YouTube automatically thinks that they're trying to push fake items, and so they'll get taken down. And it's really sad, because then they'll be like, I see them on Instagram, they're like, oh, I lost my YouTube channel. What do I do? And I'm like, well, I wish you had an email list. It would have been nice, right? To just email your list and say, I'm so sorry, I lost my channel, and here's where you can find me.
Yeah, look, I think you, that is crucial. I think you were spot on, Christine. In today's day and age, where we're seeing so many people getting deplatformed for X or Y reason, when we're seeing people getting kicked out of Twitter, getting people kicked out of YouTube. I mean, it's good to try to build an audience on these platforms because that is where people are. But you do need to try, as Christine was saying, to try to not run a business on someone else's house, if that makes any sense. For the very same reason that Christine that you just said. Yeah, 100% agree. Um, there is something though that you didn't mention. How do you feel about email newsletters? Not, I completely agree what you said. In fact, that is something that we do here at Thrive Themes. Every time we put up a blog post or a video, we try to let our audience via email know that there is a new piece of content that they can either watch or read. But how do you feel about email newsletters? Because I'm trying to differentiate from email notifications. I'm trying to differentiate email notifications from email newsletters.
Oh, just blanket email newsletters that don't link to
Like
anything?
right, so just like an email that tries to provide value in any way, shape, or form. Like for example, here at Thrive Themes, right? We have our Friday newsletter where we try to cover not just what we posted this week in terms of content, but we try to provide some tips and tricks on how to do web design. We showcase a customer's website and things that people can try to learn from that customer's website and stuff like that. How do you feel about those types of email newsletters?
No, I think they're fantastic. And even so, like those types of newsletters, they do actually, we do link out to the other things on our site that we're trying to promote. I think it kind of depends on what your ultimate goal is with the newsletter and with your business. So I've actually seen a couple of business models where pretty much all of the content is in the newsletter, and that can work. But then you have to think about, well, how are you going to monetize that? Like what are you going to sell with that sort of strategy? But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I love receiving email newsletters that are good. I hate the ones that are bad, but I really like the ones that are good. Yeah. All right. What's the next trend? Do you have one?
The next trend is no code meets automation. Now, one of the tools that we have recently developed here at Thrive Themes is Thrive Automator. It's free. It's on the WordPress. We don't call it repository anymore. We call it the
WordPress plugin directory.
That's it. Thank you. So it's free. It's on the directory. And what it lets you do is it lets you take your marketing to another level. I think most people are kind of on board with the automation of somebody signs up for your email list on your website, and then your email service provider will send out an email saying, welcome to my newsletter, or here's what to expect, that kind of thing. But with something like Thrive Automator, you can do so much more. So for example, let's say that you have a product to sell. Let's say you're using WooCommerce on your WordPress website. What you can do is when someone buys a product, then you can add that person to your email list. You can also tag them as having purchased that product, and you can tag them in your email list. And then what you can do is have your email marketing service automatically send out a follow-up email maybe 2 or 3 days later asking, how did you like this product? Would you like to submit a review? And then again, you can have it send another email in another few days asking, how's it going? So that sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, it's there's so much that we could talk about in terms of no code. I feel like Thrive Automator is in it of itself a revolutionary no code product that lives inside WordPress. The amount of things that you can do without writing a single line of code are insane. So like you mentioned, being able to tag people inside your CRM as a high spender customer if they've spent over $100 on your website or something like that. How insane is that? You can literally craft up specific marketing campaigns that for people that spend $100 on your website, or for people that spend no money on your website, and you can have two different messagings or two different, copywriting techniques that are completely different from one another. One targeted to people that spend a lot of money and one targeted to people that haven't spent a single dime yet. I think it's revolutionary. I mean, it's not something that you couldn't do 10 years ago, but it would have taken you so much money to try to figure out, just basic demographic information about, who your customers are, how much money are they spending, where are they located, just stuff like that. That today, thanks to tools like Thrive Automator, you can really easily do, and for free, which is always nice, I guess.
Exactly. That is I think the biggest thing is that 10 years ago, you might have had to hire a programmer. Now you can do it on your own. It's for free. So basically any beginner who is even just starting to pick up WordPress, you can absolutely start your own business and have all these fancy automations running.
Yeah, I feel like the no code. I mean, you know what I was doing yesterday? I was preparing a video, and I had to set up a new Stripe account. And I feel like yesterday, it kind of surprised me how popular the term no code is becoming. I mean, it was already popular like 5 years ago. Yes, I understand that. But even companies like Stripe, they label specific areas of their app with no code. As in, if I think there was an option in there to create an invoice and send it to someone. There was like this little label that said no code on top of that, functionality. And that just made me think, wow, like it's just everywhere now. Like even Stripe, it has, the no code label on their app. And it's only going to continue to grow. I used to be a firm believer of, man, what are we going to do in 50 years? But what are older people going to do, the ones that never got to really play with tech and learn how to program and learn how to code, and they never really got to go to school to learn those types of things? What are they going to do? And life is just slapping me in the face like, no problem. You don't have to learn how to program. That's fine. You really don't have to learn. I mean, it's amazing what we can do, humans, right? I mean, we thought that was going to be a problem, and we found a solution to such a massive problem, which is, people don't know how to code. No problem. You no longer need to know how to code. And it's fun. It's fun to watch, I guess.
Totally agree. All right, so those are the marketing trends that Tony and I are forecasting for 2023. What do you think? Are you on board with these trends? Are there trends that we might have missed? Let us know down in the comments, and also let us know what topics you might want us to talk about in future videos. We might even feature your comment when we cover your topic. Now, if you'd like to learn more about Thrive Automator, we will link to it down in the description, and be sure to check out the rest of our tools. If you need a WordPress page builder, we have Thrive Architect for landing pages, sales pages, opt-in pages, and more. If you need to insert email opt-ins on your WordPress website, then be sure to check out Thrive Leads. We also have Thrive Apprentice for creating online courses, Thrive Quiz Builder for inserting quizzes on your website, and more. Oh, and we also have Thrive Theme Builder for building the exact theme you want for your site. And you can get all of our tools in one convenient package by purchasing Thrive Suite. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below, and we'll see you next time.